Hi and welcome. How are you? I'm just going to do the personal tarot. Got the good tarot that I'll be working with. Botticelli, who I love to do the clarifiers. And I've got Ken Dowling. And we've got a plane overhead. Okay. So this is for the last in a series of 3 of Saturn sextiling Neptune. So that's been some big major push for change. Neptune being quite dreamy and creative, and it's all about acceptance and devotion of love, but also acceptance and devotion. In this instance, it's about us. It's accepting who we are, even the murky elements of us. Because remember, sometimes we don't like aspects of us and we don't feel comfortable bringing them into our lives and exploring all of those. And this is now time to say, no, enough of that. We need to bring it in now. We need to really take care of ourselves and feel good about who we are and what we're doing. So that's what we're being asked to do. Okay. And then that's going to be closely followed by a full moon in Taurus. It's a really active full moon, but this full moon in Taurus is actually trining the Neptune Saturn sextile. So you can see this is really an opportunity, should we want to take it, for a big paradigm shift. And for some of us, we're just being told quite clearly something's got to give. Something's got to change. So let's see what the cards have got to say for us. If you want to know more about the astrology, just click the other video and watch it all. Okay. Cut. Ooh, look at that. Underneath the pack, love. How beautiful is that? So the energy around us is one of great love. So while we might be feeling a lot of turmoil, we might be feeling uncomfortable, there's a lot of love. And can you see here, it's also got the lion. So it's telling us there's a lot of strength in love. So I'm just going to remind you to be really caring about yourself and be gentle about yourself, because when there's a lot of turmoil around, the last thing you need is to be hypercritical of yourself. What you need, the opposite. You need to give yourself that little bit of love and affection, and that's what we all need, right? So let's have a look. Okay. Call. We're being called to something. So when we are feeling uncomfortable, that's a definite call for something that needs to change. Six of fire. Can you see that? So have a look at that. So there we are on our balloon, and there's lots of balloons around us. So there's movement. We're being asked to move towards something new. So we've got a call, and now we've got movement. Okay. Queen of Water is about our emotions. 8 of Earth. Earth has got to do with being on this world. 3 of Fire. And 4 of Air. Okay. Interesting. All right. So let's see what we've got. We started off with the call and the 6 of fire, which is movement. Then we got the 2 of fire, choices. Yeah. So a lot of us are in this decision making, and we're really not too sure what we're doing or how we're going. But what's interesting about that is if you have a look, and you see up the top, I don't know if you can see it, there's a full moon. So something is going to be lit for us, and then we're going to be able to see the direction that we need to go into. All right. And the other card that's sitting with that is the Queen of Air, which is asking us to be really in touch with our thoughts. And look, you've got the wise owl. So the Queen is emotionally intuitive in the tarot pack, more so than the King. The King is in charge of his emotions, but perhaps a little bit more removed from them. But this is actually saying stay within your emotions and stay within your thoughts. Yeah? Because what we've got is the Queen of Air and we've got the Queen of Water. So you need to be thinking about things, that is correct, but you need to not be thinking about things in too strong and abstract form. You need to be allowing your thoughts to give you and connect with you emotionally. And that is intuition. That is the definition. These two together, that's the definition of intuition. Okay, so then what we've got after that is we've got the 8 of Pentacles, which is looking principally at hard work and something needing to grow. So there is an element of really having to work hard to understand what it is that's forcing us into this level of unpleasantness. So I think we're going to have to be open and exploring a whole range of different ideas and different avenues until we find the one that works for us. So I think one of the things we've got to move away from is we don't know everything right now. This is what a full moon is about. It's about illuminating aspects for us so that we can see the direction we need to take. And right now we're trying to make our decisions, but it's a little bit too limited, and we're not thinking broad enough about that decision that we need to take. What's interesting about that is that we've then got the 3 of Fire, which has also got the full moon in it at the top. And can you see the movement in that? So we've got the 6 of Wands, which is a movement, and the 3 of Fire, which is also talking about movement and looking out beyond. It's a very nice little image. So there's lots of movement that needs to take place, and we're being asked to take movement. And I had someone asking me before about something, and I said, I've got a strong urge that you need to go out and start walking in the bush or the forest or the park, and because often when we're stagnant and we become physically stagnant, that's also not good for our energy because also it becomes blocked. So go for a walk and sort of spread your wings a little bit. And then we've got the 4 of Air, which is a little bit about contemplation. So we've got this nice thinking about it's going to take some contemplation, and we're going to have to be accept that maybe now is not the time for action. It is the time for forward thinking. It is the time for projecting our thoughts forward, pursuing a lot of our thoughts, and really thinking about our intuition. And heed the call. There's something calling at us, but do it with a great deal of love. That's the other underlying card there. And the other one we had was the 2 of Fire with the full moon, and this is what it's about. Now's not time to act. Now is the time to reflect and think and really understand what we're not happy with, because come the full moon, this is when we're going to be able to enact what our thoughts are, and this is when we're going to get the greatest clarity on that. Well, that's a really nice That's a really nice reading. And the other thing that I'm just going to go with this again. Oh, very nice. Temptation. There's nothing wrong with temptation. Temptation, calling, or other way around, sorry. Temptation, calling. So, sometimes temptation is the call. Sometimes the temptation is to give yourself love. There's a difference between following your call, giving yourself love, and following temptation. Because temptation doesn't have to be evil. We've got here the signal of the apple, which is also talking about Eve biting the apple. But just think what would happen if Eve hadn't bitten the apple. We would have been in the Garden of Eden. Nothing would have changed, nothing would have grown, nothing would have explored. As people, we grow when we face situations that call on us to find aspects of ourselves that before we didn't know we had. Last one. Wheel of Fortune. Things are moving. Bit of destiny coming out. Time to move towards what is calling us and tempting us. Take some time out, put the work in, understand our intuition, explore it fully, don't just write it off. And the full moon is going to show you something that's going to be really helpful in helping you make up your mind. And Taurus is also Earth. So the full moon is in an Earth sign, and it's about something very strongly about how we are living our life, how we are making our money. That's what it's all about. Okay. Follow your intuition. Be kind to yourself. Look for what's calling you or tempting you. Be really open to exploring it. We don't have to jump on and make that decision just yet, but we do need to open ourselves up to the possibilities. All right. Take care. See you soon.